The stocks and benchmarks are there because of what has happened historically. In 2014, really before that, I was and had been observing that since the telecom crash, tech and telecom crash in the early 2000s, and then the 08-09 meltdown, the crisis, we've been witnessing increasing moves towards passive investing or benchmark sensitive investing, which is almost the same thing in my mind. And at the same time, we were witnessing the search for innovation increasingly occurring, especially for large asset managers in the pre-IPO space. And so I saw a void opening up, both in terms of research and investing in innovation in the public markets. And I wanted to fill that void. In a traditional asset management firm, it really wasn't possible to do that because the second reason I formed the firm was to add new dimensions to research. So harnessing social media, crowdsourcing, opening our research intranet. We could network with them and really push the frontiers of knowledge forward together.
Becoming a leader is something that comes naturally to some, but requires work for everyone. How can you break away from the herd and become that leader? In the finance market, certain trends will evolve over time, influenced by any number of situations. As trends shift and change, gaps tend to form, which leave opportunity open. As a leader, learn to identify voids that need to be filled and discover how you can profit from them. Don't just take your word for it. Seek out the guidance and expertise of those around you to help you along the way. Keeping an eye on current trends usually won't be enough on its own. To truly become a big-picture visionary, train yourself to look for patterns throughout history that can give you insight on making decisions. As the saying goes, history tends to repeat itself. When you can identify these trends over many years, you may very well be able to see it approaching again. An effective leader also can't be afraid to take risks when needed. Playing it safe based on old data will keep you in the past. Look to the future and decide where you can pick up the slack being left by everyone else. Focusing on the future means you have the possibility of ignoring immediate gratification and payout so that you can reap the benefits in the long term. Keep an eye on the present, but be ready for what lies ahead. Be careful to pay attention to what you believe will bring you growth, instead of ideas that have already matured. If you can learn from the past and look forward to the road ahead of you, you can prepare yourself to become an effective leader.
We believe that the public equity markets may be overvalued if you're talking about the indexes, but the most undervalued part of any equity market, and I mean private or public, is innovation in the public markets. The other disagreement, however, would be on the yield curve. The last time the yield curve inverted, and was inverted during a very strong period of economic activity, was during the last period of massive innovation. It was in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The 50 years to 1929, the yield curve was inverted more than half of the time, with the steepest inversions taking place during periods of the most rapid growth.
Innovation is key to growth. It sounds very simple and logical, but the financial markets have lost the plot. What we've seen since the tech and telecom bubble and bust, and then the 08-09 meltdown, is tremendous risk aversion, fear, and it's manifested in portfolios going passive. There's been a movement towards passive and index-based investing. And that's because portfolio managers and analysts believe that that is the safe thing to do. That's what they're measured against, are these benchmarks. And innovation is all about the future. So there's a dearth of innovation and truly innovative stocks in traditional benchmarks. But our business has gone passive. So what's happened is a void has developed in the public asset management world, and that is a void we're seeking to fill. We believe there's been a massive misallocation of capital to these backwards-looking strategies, and that the most undervalued part of any equity market today is innovation in the public equity markets.
We are playing in a massive space here, and we're going to invest aggressively now in order to capitalize on the exponential changes that are taking place here. So if you are short-term in your focus, you probably don't want to spend too much time investing in Palantir. So that's music to our ears, because time horizons and short-term, in some cases short-sighted shareholders who are much more interested in profits now, dividends now, share repurchases now, than they are in a company investing aggressively, foregoing short-term profitability in order to really to catch some very big waves out there. The reason we face that skepticism often is because of where the automobile industry is right now. It's very mature. It's not growing. In fact, we believe it has peaked. And that means all cars are in secular decline if we are right that we are moving into more of a ride-sharing, both human-driven and autonomous during the years ahead. So this idea that electric vehicle sales could grow at an 82% annual rate, just not going to believe it. And so that skepticism festers, especially, I would say, among institutional investors whose analysts on the auto sector, for example, are mostly value analysts. So there are a lot of those disconnects in the world that are creating great opportunities for us. And so I wanted to say that at the outlet because Will is onto something. There are trends evolving here that are really fostering a lot of skepticism, especially the growth rates and the sustainability of the growth rates. But our research based on Wright's Law gives us an extreme sense of confidence that we are on the right track and that truth will win out.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.